in like Spring Hill. It's like 45 minutes from Tampa.
Okay. But originally you're from Cali, right?
Yeah, I was in California, and then when we first started talking, you were in New York, right?
I was at the time. But you know what's funny? We never actually talked in person or like on the phone or anything. But I've been emailing or messaging you shit now for you was like me and you are the same age, right? You're 28 now.
Yeah, I think we probably started texting when I was 21.
Yeah, for sure, 21. That's crazy. Time flies, man.
Yeah.
You starting to feel old yet?
For sure, yeah, because I don't feel as good on the fucking yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, we don't really talk much about your kidney like through text, but how do you feel like physically? I don't know if that's a dumb question, but
It's a weird disease, man. I feel completely fine.
uh-huh.
It's crazy. It's the weirdest disease ever.
Wait, so okay, so like I would assume like your appetite probably isn't the best.
Yeah, but you know when you like only eat 3 times a day or 4 times a day, like
Mhm.
your body only wants to eat 3 to 4 times a day. I'm sure I can get my appetite up if I just ate more often. You know what I meant? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, because you're not trying to force the food. But
Yeah.
other than that, like you're still training. I'm assuming too, right?
Training, still on some gear, just not as much. Um, really, man, everything's the same. Really, everything's the same. I feel good too.
How about like wait, but obviously you're probably gonna lose some size. I'm assuming, but you don't really care about that right now. I'm sure.
Side effects, you said?
No, like size, like
Oh yeah, I'm not as big, dude. I'm like 250
oh, I mean that's still pretty.
because I'm not eating as much.
Yeah. So, all right, we're gonna jump straight into it. But I already started recording, by the way. We're gonna
Yeah,
jump straight into it. So, you usually when you do interviews, like you probably usually talking about drugs, which you know
yeah.
I'm also gonna talk to you about that. But I haven't really heard you talk about yourself much. You're not really like an ego driven guy, so you don't really talk about yourself much. But I
No,
kind of
no.
want to get into that a little bit, actually.
Okay.
Um, where were you like born and raised originally?
Born and raised in Northridge, California. You know where that is probably because you're in the down there.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I went to Chatsworth High School.
Mhm.
Um, the first gym that I grew up in, dude, like that really got in me into bodybuilding was it was the Powerhouse in Chatsworth. Now it's a Crunch. I don't know if you know where that is.
It is. I know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
One of my old training partner trained there for a while. Actually,
Do I
it's
know
pretty
him?
good. You know Henry Jackson?
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
like,
Okay, so you used to train
yeah,
down there?
yeah. So me and him used to train at Venice, but he would go there a lot to train. And from what I've seen like in his videos, it looked like still looked like like a hardcore gym. Honestly,
Yeah, yeah, it's probably good. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And like, was that the first gym you started going to?
No, my parents owned a gym when I was younger, but as far as bodybuilding goes, when I first started getting into bodybuilding,
Mhm.
100% that was my first gym where I really started, like where I did my first show, where I trained for my first show and where I really got into it. But yeah, man, the equipment was great. I mean, Stan McCoy was there. He's a pro. There's a bunch of other, pros there. It was definitely a good gym.
What what age were you when you had like that aha moment? Like, listen, whether it was a picture you've seen or whatever the case was, you like, okay, I want to be a bodybuilder, or I want to bodybuild, whether or not.
Well, it wasn't any certain picture because I grew up in I grew up in bodybuilding, so I always knew about it. But I quit wrestling my junior year at the very end
Mhm.
to bodybuild to do my first show, which I ended up winning the team class. It was at the Muscle Beach show at the in Venice Beach
Yeah.
Boardwalk. That's a fun ass show, dude. But yeah, I did that show that for my first show, and that was when in 2009 I was 17 years old, and then I did a lot of team shows. I competed quite a bit as a team, and then after that, I did the Contra Costa, and then I did a couple other shows. But I've competed I think what 8 times, 9 times, and this hasn't been anything too crazy.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed is guys who start competing as teenagers, it might take them longer to put on the tissue they need to be competitive at like a high national level, but they always come in really good condition because they've had practice peaking, right? So for me, like I waited really long, like before I've been training for since I was like 15, but I waited kind of later to compete. And even though I have good size, peaking is always like super hard for me because I've only done like 4 or 5 shows, and
When was your first show?
I did it at 22, but I don't like to count that one because I literally didn't prep. You know me, like at that age, I used to eat burgers and pizza every day. Remember, I was sending pictures of like,
Didn't
uh,
you do the Atlantic States like super out of shape one year? It was
I
one of those.
did. Well, that was my first show. I don't know. I did the Easterns first. I'm sorry. I did the Easterns first at 22. I didn't diet. I was super flat. It was horrible. But I got like seventh place, which in hindsight, that's not that bad for me looking that bad, I guess, you know. But it was just because my structure pretty
You
much.
literally didn't diet at all.
No, I didn't. I didn't do any cardio. I had Chinese. I thought I was dieting in my head. Like I had like Chinese food, and instead of putting like the sauce on it, I would like have the sauce on the side and then sprinkle a little bit of sauce, and and then I would have like sushi. In my head, I'm like, this is pretty clean, you know.
Wow.
And I dropped down to maybe like 225. Probably should have been like a light heavyweight, realistically, but you know, in hindsight, it was bad, but given the circumstances, shit, I guess it wasn't that bad. And then I did the Atlantic States with John Oregan, and I wasn't in shape. I told him I just wanted to be big, so I guess I
But
guess
he likes it though. No, none of his guys are in shape.
yeah, it is not. And when you look at the program, like honestly, I was looking at it like there's no way I'm gonna get in shape eating this.
Carbs with probably every meal, right?
Bro, the carbs were like at like 600 all the way to
Yeah.
like 2 weeks out, and in 2 weeks out, he cut it to like maybe 250.
Dude, I had a friend that prepped with him. He had him doing like 12 ounce potato every meal. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Oh,
dude.
for the fish meals, I think it was like 12 ounces of fish and like 12
Crazy.
ounces of rice. And honestly, at the time, it literally, I split, I had to split the meals. So it was like I was eating 12 meals a day because I couldn't eat that much at one sitting.
No
So
way, dude. He had me doing 14 ounces of fish at night, and I puked. I was puking. But Justin Compton probably had your protein lower, right?
way lower. Honestly, like with Compton, I don't feel like I'm force feeding. But the funny part is that like I still grow, you know, but I don't know if I could have grown on this plan when I was that young. Because at that age, it was like I just couldn't put on size for whatever reason. Whereas
How many
now,
ounces do you do now?
huh?
How many ounces are you doing now?
He has me on 8 ounces, believe it or
Okay.
not. But the carbs are pretty high. Somehow I became like carb sensitive, and I gain weight so easily now, bro. Like literally, if he moved me up to, let's say I'm on 4,000 calories right now. If I went up to 5,000, I would be over 300 pounds.
Really?
But it seems to be hard for me to get in real condition now, for whatever reason. So he doesn't want me to put on any body fat, and
Because
I'm down
you
for
did
that.
USA's this year, and the condition wasn't there, huh?
It was like I think the condition should have been there, but I was super flat. It's not Compton's fault. I'm crazy, so like whatever he gave me, I did more. It's like let's say he gave me an hour and a half cardio, I did 2 hours. He
Oh
gave me like
God.
he gave me like 50 mcgt3, I did like 100, bro. Like
Oh God, dude. Way too much T3, man. Holy
yeah.
shit.
So I never believed in the T3 flattening you out thing until this year. I'm like I 100% was super flat.
Well,
So
you know what, dude. Honestly, like you have really good genetics, so you could probably get away with 50 T3, not even flattening you out.
mhm.
But most people, dude, flatten the fuck out on even 50.
Yeah, that happened to my boy Eric. His first show, he lost like 60 pounds, and he just kept.
Kanevsky,
Yeah, Kanevsky.
he
Yeah,
got way too fat though.
yeah. He's like super. I mean, I'm extreme too, but he's like when I say extreme, Eric. Listen, he'll. I know people say they'll eat shit if they have to. Eric would 100% eat shit if he had to. He can go all in to the point
But
that
he's out of bodybuilding now.
yeah, he's out. Honestly, that's the best thing that could have happened to him, bro. Best thing to have.
He was too obsessed with it.
Bro, I think he would have killed himself.
Really?
I think like himself. He's like he has a very obsessive personality, and I mean it worked. He gained like 50 pounds one off season. I mean 50 pounds of stage weight one. It was like in a year and a half.
Yeah, but he didn't have the genetics to really do much, you know.
Uh,
So that's probably a
uh,
good reason he did.
yeah, the good thing is he wasn't delusional. Even though he might go on social media and say he did, but if you actually talk to him, he wasn't delusional. He knew he didn't have the genetics, but he wanted to see how far he could take it. So I'm happy he found the whole prank thing because I think if he would have pushed the look hard enough, I think he would have killed himself because he was like no
Was
holds.
he crazy with the drugs too?
Oh yeah, he was nuts. He'll be the first one to tell you. He made a video about it actually. And like it was so outrageous. I was like, bro,
It
like
was worse than my cycles.
believe it or not, yes, man, yes. Well, his channel got taken down, so I can't even show you the video. But he was like on 300 mgs of anadrol.
Holy fuck!
I think he got up to 5 grams of test, bro.
Oh my god!
But I want to say his body, because the drugs were real. A lot of people said it had to have been fake, but I was using the same brand and I was getting great results from like 1,000.
Well, dude, I think the body after a while, there's no way to even absorbs that much.
No way, no way, no, no way. So I think I don't know what was going on there, but and he still had an appetite, bro. He was
Dude, I
eating.
would not be able to eat a fucking 1,000 calories on that much Anadrol.
There's no way. I used to always ask him like, "Well, how do you feel?" And he's like, he just had a really high pain tolerance. I think he had this super high pain tolerance. He like, I'm fine. Like I felt like shit, but not really. But he just kept doing it. Like he's willing to do anything, which is a great attribute to have, but to a point.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he found something else. But yeah, he got the trend with up to like I think maybe 3-4 grams too.
Oh my god, dude! How do you even fit that much shit in your body?
Bro, he would poke anything. He would poke anywhere, everywhere. When I would go to his house, like it would be slayed out. The
That's
man,
hilarious, dude. The most I ever got up to was 25 cc's a day. I was like 2 weeks out, and I literally had to take so much Tylenol and ibuprofen just to get to the gym because I was in so much pain from the shots. It was so dumb, dude.
yeah, it's overkill. I think 2 weeks out, like he was doing it way, like he was doing like he did titrate up, but he was doing pretty high doses all year round. No, not all year round, but while he was on cycle. For me, 2 weeks out, the reason I need a coach is 2 weeks out, I lose my shit. I go nuts, bro. I just start just throwing everything in my body and just overdoing the cardio, and then my look deteriorates. I'm like, let me get that last bit of get that glute out, and then even if the glutes come out, like my last show, I finally seen some lines in my glutes, but it wasn't worth it, bro. I didn't look. I just didn't look good, man.
Well, what did you weigh?
I weigh like 245, which
Oh, big.
That was my heaviest stage weight, but I looked bigger at like 235 my last show, which was
because I think you did look better your last show before, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think with a physique like mine, it's more about having the fullness with the condition to have like the muscle bellies pop.
Yeah.
Because like I look small compared to the guys. I honestly did.
What do you think about the overall winner in the super heavyweight class?
Chris, I'm actually friends with him, but believe it or not, so he, I've seen people saying he wasn't in shape from the pictures. Being there, he was definitely in shape. The pictures didn't capture it properly, but honestly,
280.
I think he said, did he say 270 or?
I don't know. Somebody said he was like 280 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, well, because I know he was legit 300, like really lean. Like he had glutes in like 300.
So he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's taller than me. He's like maybe 6'1.5", 6'2".
Oh wow.
But believe it, he had a small waist, surprisingly.
I definitely had him winning. I just didn't think that he was a great from the back. I didn't think he was great from the back, you know.
Yeah. I think from the front, the waist with the big arm shoulders, he had good quad sweep, looked great. Who
looked even worse at that show was the big spill.
Which one's that?
Ryan Crowley.
Oh yeah. Well, see, there's a big difference between being a big guy and being a muscular guy.
Yeah.
And he's not muscular. He
said he was 305 on stage.
Yeah, exactly. But he didn't look 305.
No.
You know, it's like
he looked like 250.
Yeah. He had a big bone structure, but not a lot. I mean, unfortunately, bro, for him to look his size, bro, he needs to be like what, 310 on stage, maybe, right? Or more, maybe.
Well, if he was 305, he needs to be a lot bigger than
that. but that's like kind of ridiculous. Like for him to look big on his frame, he got to be like 330 on stage, bro. That's
yeah. But he was also fat though. He needs to be leaner.
Okay, he needs to be lean. But
so you're right. Yeah. You're right. 310 shredded. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But he's young, so he has time. But
after that pec tear, I think he'll be done.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna look.
Did you ever train with Larry Wills and do crazy shit like that?
I trained with Larry Wills for like a year when I was in the Bronx. But it depends on the workout. If we were doing like long rest periods, because he's really strong in long range wrestling. Believe it or not, if you train with him in a bodybuilding workout, you would actually be stronger than him. It sounds nuts, but he's
Oh,
actually
so like his endurance is not good.
it's not good at all. It's not good at all.
Oh
So
wow.
if I was doing bodybuilding style training with him, he would burn out. There's a video of him working out with Brandon Curry, and Brandon like lifts more weights than him because they're taking like 30 seconds rest.
Oh, okay.
Because he's taking like 10 minutes rest, believe it or not. He's taking like 10 minutes rest in between
Oh
sets.
wow.
So that's why.
So
So
he's more of like a strong man.
yeah, exactly. But when I train with Larry, man, you gotta stay in your own lane. Like Larry will pick up the even back then, I'm talking about maybe what he's maybe like 20. If I was like 22, he was maybe 20, 19, 20. And he was already messing with the 215s. They bought dumbbells from the gym, like 215, 220s, and he would do sets of 10 with it, you know. And then I would grab like the 140s. There's no competition. Don't don't even
But
try.
it's crazy though. Yeah, dude, he ripped his chest with like 5 plates and shit. He was training with them. But the thing with Larry is like his joints and tendons are probably made of steel.
Way different. The funny part is some people tried to like say, hey, Larry must have pushed him. It was the complete opposite. If you watch the video, he was like, let's go to 5. Larry was like, no, I'm definitely not doing 5 today. And he's like, no, let's do it. Larry was like, you sure? Like, he really didn't want to do it. And then Larry almost got injured as well. He gets a spot, and then one side he goes to rack it, and they don't help him rack it.
I saw
And he
that.
uses one side, and Larry almost tore his chest, and they racked it. And what they didn't show is the first time Ryan went, he racked it. Ryan took it off, and he didn't feel right. He racked it. That could have been a sign to just put it back, and he tried it
Oh,
again.
they tried it a second time.
Yeah, so a lot of people didn't know, didn't see the backstory, but yeah, so that just wasn't. And if you get like Ryan is very strong, extremely strong, but if you get 4 plates for 8, 9 reps, maybe you should maybe you should go about 10, 25 max, or maybe just leave it there, honestly. But to go to
Well, we
5,
all know that's not going to even help build muscle if you're doing 1 rep.
no, no, especially if you're like a big frame guy, because hey, Larry is huge, but like Ryan, Larry is a huge guy, not a muscular guy. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends who you compare him to. But on stage at 270, Larry didn't look 270.
No.
No, don't get me wrong. After his show, that first show he did, he came to the gym and did an arm workout with me. And when I say he was huge in a t-shirt. The shoulders, the traps, crazy. But when he takes it off, the muscles don't pop. So his
No. When
270,
he flexes, he doesn't pop.
no, it's just it's a different look. He's
Yeah.
dense, but he's not full. So when you only do the heavy weights, you might have a dense look, but not that round pop. So
Yeah.
at 270, people told him he should do classic, and it's like he can never make the weight.
Classic.
That's a whole nother discussion. Like people think classic means you're not big enough, but classic is a whole different look.
I see so many bodybuilders that do classic, and I'm like, dude, you're not classic at all.
not, not at all, man. It's funny when you see that because classic, you got to fit into the criteria. I'll
You could probably do classic.
yeah.
You could do classic, but you're too heavy.
That's the only issue. If I wasn't actually heavy, it would be perfect for me. One of my friends.
Yeah, but you would have to lose like fucking 40 pounds of muscle, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, I wouldn't look good. I don't think I would look because when I come in flat, I don't look good. You know, I
Yeah.
don't.
I wonder what the weight limit is for your height.
When I checked it at the amateur level, it was like 210, but
Yeah, dude, I don't know.
at the pro level, it's higher, like 215. A friend of mine, Lord Jones, what's his real name? Brian Jones.
Oh, he's sick. He looks
Crazy.
good.
So he's my height, and off season, he told me he was 230. But I guarantee you that the guy looks bigger than me. If you see us in the gym, you would either think we're the same size or he's bigger than me. But he's 230, and I'm like,
His legs are not as developed, right?
no,
It's his legs that are not developed, right?
they're not size wise, no, but they have such nice shape that you don't really notice on stage.
They don't separate. I noticed they don't separate.
No, but the sweep look. When you have a small waist and a good sweep,
Yeah.
it makes it look good. So in pants, you'll be like, oh, this guy has small legs, but on stage, you'll be like, it's pretty good. I think he can do some damage, and he's
For sure. He's like he could be very good.
crazy, yeah. So I see him and Bumstead being like the top runners. Since we're on that subject, how do you feel about the current crop of guys? Like, did you watch the Olympia? I'm assuming You
Yeah,
did?
I watch it all.
Good, good. So how do you feel about it? Do you feel like Ramy deserved it? Do you feel like he can hold
Yeah,
it?
I mean, dude, there were some obvious shot injection marks on Rami's legs. Very obvious to me.
Well, they actually admitted that this guy Chad kind of admitted it on. He was on somebody's podcast, and he was like they had to do a bunch of massage and shit for his leg because he had like all these knots. He was
Yeah,
pretty much saying that.
something was up with his legs. But besides that, I did have him winning. I did have him winning. You know who's a disappointment with conditioning, man? And like he fired his coach, and supposedly he wasn't even working with his coach the whole time. He was just lying the whole time. Was Hunter Labrada? He's not. He needs to be in better shape.
Who was I don't even know who. Oh, Wu.
Andrew Vu was coaching him, but supposedly, but they came out after that he wasn't following anything, and he was working with someone else the whole time, and he didn't tell Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, with his structure and fullness, if he was in shape, he could do a lot of damage, a lot of damage. I thought Ian looked good. Um,
Yeah, Ian's hit or miss, but yeah, he was good at the Olympia.
why do you think that is? Well, why do you think?
His coach, unfortunately,
Oh, Tua.
Patrick Stewart. He's a nice guy. I talked to Patrick on the phone. He's a nice guy, but there's too much guinea pigging and too much sodium loading, too much all this crazy stuff at the very end. I've seen his programs, and Ian even showed me. I saw Ian right when he got in Tampa when he did that Tampa show. Not this year, but the year before. I saw him, and he showed me what he was doing for the sodium load and for the carb load. He showed me the diet on his phone, and it was crazy, man. Like he wanted him like measuring sodium, but like it was massive amounts. Like, and then you know what I mean? It's too much variabilities. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why he's like hit or miss. It's just too many variables.
The fact that he could look like he did in that was Tampa when he went against uh Hunter, right?
Yeah,
The fact that he can bring that look, the New York Pro look and the Olympia look all in 1 year is nuts because the Olympia looked like 3 years of progress compared to
yep.
the Tampa show. And the fact that can even happen shows that there's something.
Too much guinea pigging, man.
Why is it that people love Patrick Torres so much? What has he done that to make people think he's like so great?
Well, you heard the podcast with Fuad, right? When he said that when with Dennis Wolf.
You know, when I heard that, I cringed. Once he said that, I was like, oh, because I'm thinking because Fuad likes him. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
oh, he loves them. He loves them.
So when he said that, I was like, oh, I was like, what if Fuad? I do like the fact that Fuad kept that in there and let him kind of just say
Yeah.
what's on his mind because somebody could have just like cut that out or like cut him off or something. But he
Well,
let him
think
go.
about it. You know how Patrick Tour's name got on the market was with that Nicholas Vlad guy, the guy that's like 4'11.
Yeah, he got like some really like freaky shots and some not so good shots, but he has
And
some.
then on stage, he doesn't look as good because he's so short.
He looks squatty, like his arms look
Yeah,
super short.
yeah, yeah. Dinosaur arms.
Yeah. He looks like he looks like a Lee Priest, but not as good.
Yeah, that guy blew up,
Mhm.
and then he started getting some recognition, and then you know how it is, man. These
Yeah,
coaches on Instagram post their top guys or guys with good genetics, and then all of a sudden, everyone starts hiring him. You know how the hype train is.
yeah, exactly. It's always like that. Yeah, but I noticed he's been getting like a lot of traction. I'm like, I don't get it. You know, I know he trains James. Did he train Ian?
Yeah, he does. That's why Ian was so
Oh, yeah.
on or off that year.
Yeah. He trained. I know he trained Hollingshead, but I found them impressive. Like before they got with him.
Yeah, exactly, and they're not improving with him.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's a lot of overrated coaches, man. It's like I don't know, like Compton. I think is really good because he's probably doesn't he probably doesn't take that on that many people, you know.
yeah. One thing about him is I don't know how he can get back to people so in depth. I don't know if I don't know if he only does it with me. I would assume not. But the way he replied, it seems like he has like two clients,
Yeah, I don't think he takes on many people.
which is smart. And when it comes, I like the coaches. Like I'm not cheap. I'm down to pay whatever you want me to pay. But I like when coaches are so into the prep that they don't even think about the money. Like he's never even mentioned the money. I just send it to him. I'm like, I'm gonna send you the money.
Yeah.
But he never said, hey, it's due. He never even mentioned it because he's so focused on getting his client's progress to the point that you want to pay him. Like literally, like I want to pay him. I'm like, okay, he hasn't taken any money. Let me pay him. You know. So when somebody's doing their job to that extent, you literally want to pay them. You know.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're like the
He
same
only
way.
charges like $200 a month, I think, too.
Yeah, he's not that expensive. Yeah, he's not expensive at all. For who he is, he's not expensive at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're similar, right? Like a lot of people don't know, like you help a lot of people on the low. People might not mention it, whether it's like just random questions. I know for me, you help me a lot.
Yeah, I get it all the time. Yeah, I like helping do. I like bodybuilding. I just like talking about bodybuilding. You know.
Yeah, to the point that you went to your fridge and even showed me a picture of something I was asking you about, and you didn't even have to do that. And you never asked me for anything. Like literally, I'll try to pay you like when I can, but
Yeah, I
you don't
remember
even. You've never actually asked for like a dime for me. And I've literally been bugging you with questions for like 8 years now,
that.
and you've never asked. And you're on my podcast right now. You've never asked for anything. So when you see people like that, it makes you like it makes you want the best for them, right? And it makes you actually want to pay them too because they literally just try to help. And I've always got the vibe for you that you legit just love bodybuilding, not even the competitive side, but you love everything about it. Like you just have a passion for
Yeah, just
drugs,
it's, I love it.
training. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's dope. I think if we had more of that, it would be like a real nice industry. But
What's the worst experience you've had with a bodybuilder?
bodybuilder, oh shit. Let me see. But this guy isn't known though.
No, he's
Doesn't matter
not.
if they doesn't matter if they're like. Well, he was known a little bit. I'm trying to remember his name. Shit. He was like in the New Jersey, New York area. He was popular in that area. But his name, he won the universe one year and got his pro card. A little, damn, if not, I think he acts.
Kyle Vilray,
Huh?
that the guy that's a pro now.
Yeah. Oh, he's a pro, but he turned pro like a few years back. I can't even remember his name, but he
Is
was
he
super.
is he blonde?
Yeah, he was blind. He was, but I think he was like
I think you're
blue.
talking about that Kyle kid.
What was his name? Kyle
I
what?
think is it Kyle Vilray or something?
The name isn't
That
coming.
kid won the universe. That's why I was saying he won the overall bodybuilding at the universe
When did he win that though?
a couple years ago, a few years, a couple like 3-4 years ago, probably.
No, I don't think the same.
Oh, was it?
If I can't remember his name, there's no point mentioning. But he was just a super dick. So, but let me think of somebody I can remember. Obviously, being in LA, I see a lot of bodybuilders. Let me put somebody on blast too. Do they have to compete?
No, not at all.
Huh. Who's a dick? What's yours? Let me hear yours first while I try to remember.
Well, I, dude, there's so many fucking dicks. Oh my god.
Really?
like like I can't have like I don't have like a actual like story on the top of my mind. But you know when I used to go like the LA Fit Expo and like the when I was younger and shit and I used to go to all those expos and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I just feel like everyone was so fake, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I can say it can be. I've had like awkward experiences, but they weren't dicks. They just looked like super nervous. I met Nathan Diasha one day in LA Fitness. He just looked super uncomfortable. Super uncomfortable. He wasn't rude though, but I could tell like, mind you, he was like a couple of days out, and
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't want to be seen. He was working out with Matt Jansen actually.
Oh, okay.
LA, when I seen him, I was like, it was the weirdest thing. I was just doing pull downs. At the time, I had just moved out to LA. I was a trainer there actually, for like a year or so, and I'm working out. I'm like, that Matt Jansen, Nathan Diasha, and I walk up to him like, and then they were like, they looked like, what the fuck is going on? Like just random big dude coming up. I was like, hey, what's up, guys? You guys doing the Cali Pro? And they're like, Matt was cool, and Nathan seemed like super quiet, but not rude, just quiet.
Yeah.
And I think I offered them like a free week pass, something like that. But dicks, not in LA. I guess when you're as you get bigger, people treat you a little better.
Oh, for sure.
But when I was younger, like bodybuilders wouldn't even like they wouldn't acknowledge me. They would kind of just looked right through me, you know.
Yeah. See, and then when you see them when you're like bigger, and then they try to kiss your ass, it's like you motherfuckers.
It's a little bit different. Yeah, I wanted to ask you this question about coaches.
Yes.
If you could give me top three best coaches, top three worst coaches for anybody looking.
Do they have to be? Do they have to be like top? Like meaning like do they have to be like a fucking Chad Nichols or Hawney or just somebody that I know that's good?
Actually, the opposite, because usually it's amateurs that have issues with coaches because they want to hire the top coaches, and the truth is that the top coaches could care less about them. You know.
Yeah. So top three that like I always hear good things about, and I always say this, dude. It's like Trey Hodge. You know who Trey Hodge is?
No, I'm actually not familiar with Trey Hodge. I'm gonna look up his IG.
He worked. He trained Charles Dixon.
Okay, okay. Well, that guy was huge.
Yeah. So Trey Hodge and I. This is like because I've known so many people that work with these people, and then there's no complaints. Everyone just loves them, right? So that's why this is where I'm coming with from.
Yeah.
I've never worked with them personally. So Trey Hodge, and then another one that everyone seems to like is Nelson Jones. You know who that is?
No, I'm not familiar with
He
him.
works with Martin Fitzwater.
Okay, okay, yeah. Well,
Okay,
I'm not familiar with the coach though. Yeah.
and then the last one, and these are coaches that anyone could reach out to and they would work with. These are not guys that are just picking from the top. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then I would say Blue Taylor. Like I think you would work well with Blue Taylor.
Yeah, because he brings people in shape, and I never come in shape.
He's good with black guys.
Okay, good. Yeah, but that's important. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that's important. So if you have a coach that only works for white guys, that only works for black guys, you might need to consider that. But like, okay, this guy brings black guys in shape. You know what I'm saying? Or this guy brings white guys in shape. There is a big difference, especially from what I've noticed, like water retention. Any black clients I have, they'll get in shape, but then the glutes and hams will be soft as shit, including myself.
Yeah, Blue Taylor's really good at black guys.
Good, yeah. I think that's something should look into. Or like if you see a coach that only works well with like 212 guys, but
Yeah.
not bigger guys,
Like I would never recommend a white guy to Blue. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
because you don't see the track record. Yeah, you don't see
Well, it's not that. It's I'll tell you why. Because he likes fish and he likes really low calories at the very end.
oh, okay, you
And
feel
a
like
lot of white guys go catabolic.
and flatten out. Yeah,
And
for sure.
black guys stay full and they just get peeled.
Yeah, I feel like would you say white guys hold less water, but also less fullness?
A lot of black guys. Okay, I'll tell you this. This is another thing.
Mhm.
Black guys need their sodium cut.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Most of them. There is obviously exceptions, but
Mhm.
from what I have experienced from black people, African American guys that I've helped with, they are very sodium sensitive.
100%. I would 100% agree with you on that. I remember John Oregan cut my sodium completely. But I mean, but he had the food so high I didn't flatten out. My only thing is if I do super low carbs, like with Compton, he didn't cut my sodium out completely. He told me less. So he said whatever you're using right now, which was like some hot sauce, mustard. He said cut the serving in half, and
Yeah,
that kind of
that's smart too because you're still going to get some fluid drain. Did you use a little diazide?
I did, yeah, I did. I used more than he told me to, which wasn't smart.
Oh God, how much did you use?
I basically did like the John Oregan protocol with it. I did like it was like a half, full.
Oh my God, a full 25 mg diazide, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah, but he told me to do like I think he told me to do like half. That was it.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I heard a story about from this is from a good source about Kim Williams.
I can't believe it. Well, he holds water like crazy though.
Dude, I think it was Dave Palumbo that told me. Don't quote me on this, but it was somebody that worked with him. I'm not kidding you. Supposedly, he took 6 whole diazides and didn't cramp.
Yeah, because he holds. I mean, I didn't cramp neither. Yeah, but I do believe it. Like you can tell looking at a
Oh no, I believe it, but what the fuck? That's crazy.
you can tell who's a water buffalo or not, and he 100% seems like
Oh yeah, he holds it in his face and shit.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, a lot. And the crazy part in off season, he'll look almost fat, borderline fat, but I don't think he's fat. I think he's just watery as shit.
Yeah.
So that happens sometimes. The first time I realized that was with John Oregan when he put me on diuretics and I dropped like 10, 15 pounds. I'm like, holy fuck. I thought that was body fat. The whole time I'm like, I thought it was just fat. And I'm like, I guess I'm not as fat as I thought. I'm just a water buffalo. And it is what it is.
And that's the problem too with holding a lot of water is if a coach can't realize that, he'll just up the T3, up the clan, and you'll end up eating muscle.
Yes. it's like a balance. It's like you can't do both. It's either you go hard on T3 cleanse and then keep the food and sodium a little higher, or you pull the food and sodium a little more and have this a little, lower. It's like that would be a balance. With me, being that condition is my issue, I try to do everything, and it didn't help. It's just same result. So honestly, I'm better off just listening to the coach, because if I get into my own head, it's over. You know. Speaking of the diuretics, I want to ask you, what's your worst drug experience? It could be any drug. It doesn't have to be performance enhancing. And what's your best?
Worst drug experience was probably when I blew out my ulnar nerve when I shot the shit in my arm, and there was the worst pain of my life. 100% when I took that shot, worst pain of my life. It was the most. My whole body was burning. That whole side was just on fire.
But it wasn't due to the actual compound, right? It was due to the area.
It wasn't due to the drugs. It was due to the pressure on the nerve.
And you shot your short head. Short head.
Yeah, so I was loading my short heads up, and I had done a shot in my short head maybe 2 days prior, so it was already sensitive.
Yeah.
And then I tried to put another 3 cc's in there, and the pressure was so much on the nerve it blew out.
Okay. Have you ever met somebody who shot their short head regularly and never got a bad infection? I've never met anybody who hasn't.
Everyone seems to have issues if they do it for too long a periods of time, like scar tissue
Yeah.
and like lumping, and it gets like a little lumpy, you know?
I remember after that, you told me, don't shoot your short head. Just don't shoot it.
Yeah, no, there's the fatty, yeah.
And then obviously me being how I was and how I am, I did it anyways. And then so I did it, for a couple of weeks. Then I get like a light infection. I'm like, oh wow, look at this. And I ice it, take ibuprofen, it goes down, boom. Then I get a light one in my left arm. I'm like, okay, not that bad. It gets a little worse, a little bigger. Oh yeah, no big deal. Then I get on my right arm again. This time it spreads down a little bit. It goes to like my forearm. Forearm is swollen. I'm like, this is not good. So I go to what do you call it, urgent care or whatever you call it, and they give me antibiotics. So I take it, whatever. Boom. Keeps getting worse. So by a couple of days, my hand looked like Thanos. So
You got cellulitis.
Yeah, exactly. Really bad cellulitis. And then I was bouncing at the time, and somebody was like, "Baby, you got big hands, man." I'm like, like, yeah, I guess so. You like, what happened to your arm? You like, nothing. You like, oh, I know what happened. You got some bad gear. That's what happened. I was like, nah. Yeah, like you know exactly. You got some.
Was that the last time you shot him?
That was the last time. I never did it again.
Yeah.
I had to stay at the hospital overnight, and they had me on like, I guess like some kind of IV antibiotics. I don't know. They had me there for like a night, and then it went down slowly. My mom came down. She said, "What happened?" I was like, "Oh, I got into a fight at the club when I was bouncing, and somebody must have cut me with something dirty."
Yeah. Oh, your mom doesn't know you use gear?
I mean, yeah, but like we just don't talk about it.
Okay.
Like kind of like she's seen it and stuff. Like,
Okay.
but she never confronts it. Like she'll send me like a link of a video talking about don't do steroids or something like that.
So if you told her you got an infection from steroids, she'd be pissed?
Honestly, I don't even know how she would react. I think she would be like disappointed or sad or something. I don't even want to bring that there. So probably be more. It's like you get to a certain point, like they know they can't do anything, but
Dude, you know how many bodybuilders I know that have fucked up the short head shot prior to a show, and they had to back out and they use excuses why they fucking couldn't compete? I know multiple bodybuilders that have fucked up short head shots where they've gotten infections, and that shit takes weeks to go down, dude.
That happened to Nick. Nick said it, but he said it afterwards. He said it like, yeah.
You got an infection from Winnie, but I know people that were just shooting shit in there, dude, and just got fucked up.
You remember that one show? I think it was Arnold Australia when Dexter had that one swollen arm.
Oh yeah, I called him out on that. He blocked me for that.
Damn. So I don't want to get black. So he follows me on Instagram, so I don't want to get black. So I'm not gonna say anything. No, but yeah, it was like I think he said that he had a torn bicep or something like that, right?
Yeah, but then he was guest posing 2 weeks later in Pittsburgh and it was gone. Like if it was a tear, it would still be there.
Oh man, what would you say is? I guess nowadays is different. Like with the sponsorships and stuff, they don't care. They don't care. Honestly, they don't. There was a time where you couldn't say that, but now
it depends who's sponsoring you, though.
Oh yeah. Like, so,
If it's a supplement sponsor, they might be upset, but if it's something else, maybe not.
like I feel like HD Muscle. Well, it's not a sponsorship. They just send me products. So I guess you could call that one, but they don't give a shit about that. But I mean,
Has Dorian tried to get you to work with him?
like at the client, no, like we messaged, but he's never mentioned that. I don't even know if
Oh,
he.
Compton works under him though.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah,
Compton
Compton is
works
on
with
the HD.
HD.
Yeah, so he wouldn't even try
Yeah.
if he did. I think if I get my pro card, he might mention it. But being that he's with Compton, then no, he probably won't. Because I think Phil Viz and Compton are both with HC. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he hasn't mentioned it, but
Wait, you've never worked with Phil Viz, have you?
no, it's funny. All my friends work with him. Like Henry, I have another friend, Luca, another friend, I forget his name, but he goes to my gym. A lot of guys that know work with him. He's I
You
feel
know,
like
Henry's only working with him for that free coaching.
he's stupid, bro. No, it's like I don't know, man. I think Phil is a good dude and a good coach, but some of his methods is just it's too like
It's
complex.
unnecessary.
I think it's just too deep. I like coaches like Compton is extremely smart. Don't get me wrong, he's like super smart. Or Dave Colombo, super smart. But they have this way of just like keeping it simple. Like, yeah, chicken, 8 ounces chicken breast. Boom.
Exactly. You need simplicity. Like Phil goes crazy with the complexity.
That to me, it makes like the way my brain works. I'm already crazy. I don't
It
need
would
more
drive you
things.
nuts. It would drive you nuts.
Exactly. So I want simple. Just do it. I don't want to blend this up. I don't want to add 3 blueberries. I don't want to, I don't want to add a tablespoon of Greek yogurt. I just want to have my meal and do my workout. I don't want a million things. There's already enough things. You got to do the peptides and the GH.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's craziness. Did John Oregan have you doing crazy shit too?
Honestly, he kept it pretty. I think that's why I liked him. He kept
Well,
it.
no, the food, but I'm talking about the drugs because he wanted me doing like IGF in my hamstrings and shit.
Well, yeah. Like he was specific about things like that. I feel like it goes systemic. Like when I just do the IGF anywhere, I feel the pump whatever I train, right? But
Yeah.
he would say in the muscle, or he would say like if you're gonna train your hammies, do it IGF here. Even with the gear, it would be like in the spot, which does work because you feel like more mind muscle connection in it. But yeah, when it comes to that, but I didn't really honestly I didn't really listen to that. I kind of just did just tried it how I felt like shooting it, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, he didn't get too crazy with me. I think he kept it simpler with me. I just like simplicity, man. I don't like getting too crazy with it, to be honest. So yeah, you told me your worst experience, right? Did you tell me your best experience with a drug?
Oh, my best experience. Probably my first drug one of the first things I ever took, and you probably took that shit too.
Which one?
Mdrol from Competitive Edge Labs.
Mjaw?
They had like Xstain, H-Drol from it was a pro hormone company. But anyways, that shit was so strong, man. That shit it's super draw.
Oh yeah, but I loved Superjaw at the
Yeah.
time. I loved it. Like I was watery as shit, but I didn't care at the time. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, no, super draw is fucking legit, dude. Like real super draw. A lot of the shit's out there now is not the real shit.
Like legit, that shit had me at like 2021 repping out 4 plates, and I can't even rep out 4 plates right
My
now.
bench jumped up like 80 pounds in 3 weeks. So that's why I say that it was the best thing I ever used.
What I did on Superjaw till this day, I can't do it 8 years later, probably. You know what I'm saying? I still can't do the kind. And it
What
was
year
it
did
was
you take it?
huh?
What year did you take it?
I want to say that was like that powerhouse gym, maybe 21. I was like 21.
Yeah, that's when the shit was good.
Yeah, it was really good. To be honest, now I don't even know where to get it, man. The guy I do
The
it
stuff's
with,
not good.
huh?
You're on the forum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I should probably find it then.
there's a guy in Canada. He Magnum Oxytech. He has super from he makes it from Purple Panda raws, and that shit's strong.
Do you think that would be worth it where I'm at right now, or I would just get necessarily?
How's your appetite on orals?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, so probably not.
So
I
what?
would use it the first. I would use it the first couple weeks in a prep.
Oh yeah, and then because I don't eat my appetite anyways.
Yeah. The first couple weeks in prep.
I've been having this guy. I think the guy you recommended for me. I've had him make all my orals injectable. So if I do Debo and Anadrol, I do it all injectable, and my appetite is perfect. I won't hold as much water. So yeah, with the oral Anadrol, you'll get bigger from the water weight. But with this,
Is there
uh,
any pain?
huh?
Or shots?
Depends. I have a high pain tolerance, honestly. So I don't unless you ask me, I won't even notice it. But yeah, like after you do it, there's like a burn. There's like a burn.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it.
I just hate how they crash a lot and you got to warm them up.
Yeah, that does happen. But the injectable Anadrol it's like 'cause I love Anadrol. It's pointless because I'll eat one meal and that's it. I just can't eat anything all day unless it's maybe like a little bit of junk. Maybe that's about it. Yeah, but I love that one, man. When it comes to GH, a lot of people have the farm grade argument. I hear people say that their coach told them that never use generic. All generic is fake. It's not going to feel the same, and it's basically like a waste of money.
Yeah. So, there you go. There, I see you now. All right. So, so that's the question that I love to answer because there's so much fake generics out there. That's why everyone says that. But if you get a good generic that tests well, um, then you're set, man, because they do the same thing. I've tested them. My clients have used pharma and good generics, the same results. I've used pharma and generic that I've tested with the same results. But the thing is the only thing better about pharma is every time what you're getting.
Yeah.
Generic, every batch is going to differ. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's funny. You said this a long time ago, but I'm actually gonna try this out because you said you like doing generics off season, or you might mix it a bit, and then
I
pre-contest.
do. I mix them. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you told me pre-contest is the only time you would consider like the farmer, and it does make sense because I do notice farmer does hold less water. That's one thing I could agree with. And for me being a water buffalo already, I hold a shit. When I cut GH, I lose so much water weight.
Well,
So
you got to know the generics that there's called a dimer rate. It's called DIMER. You
mhm,
got to find generics with a low dimer.
mhm.
And like for instance, I know you probably tried them. The GH from the provider, the black tops,
Yeah,
you've heard of those. The
uh-huh.
gray tops, those hold a lot of water.
Yeah, a lot. Shit
They're
ton.
a lot. They're a lot of bloat, and
Mhm,
that's because it has a high dimer rate. But then when you talk about higher quality generics, and there's a few of them on the forum that I recommend.
mhm.
When you talk about those, they would hold the same amount of water. Like you've tried Q-tropin, right?
No, but I tried the IGF version of that same brand, but I actually just ordered some.
That's gonna hold barely any fluid, just like a pharma. You're gonna really like that. Like Q-tropin doesn't hold fluid.
Perfect. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, you tried the Insabolic?
I did.
That's
I
good,
definitely,
huh?
yeah, but definitely like that one. I'm gonna put like a link of your form in the
Yeah,
description.
people like that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, is that okay if I put a link of your?
Yeah. Put the link. That's www.bigdaddyb-members-
Okay,
slash members. I'll text you the link.
that's actually a question I get from people too. Like on my DMs, like it'll be random people like from Canada. Oh, do you have a source from Canada, or you have a source here? And I'm like, I don't know if I should be like giving this out on social
You can just
media,
get
but
my forum. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
there's literally everything on there.
Perfect. All right. Boston, I had you on for a while now. I actually want to get since I seen you did a podcast on Leo channel, and you was with Eric actually.
Yeah, I
It,
like it. I like Eric. I always have. I just have never met him.
it's funny because I saw that, and I was actually planning on having you on with him because me and him had a podcast we did back when he was into bodybuilding, Fluff and Puff podcast. So I was thinking about having you on that one, and I seen it. And I was like, oh, you already had a podcast with him, but
Oh,
I
you
still,
guys do a podcast together?
yeah, we do. So I actually still want to have you back with him because he's probably gonna ask like a shit ton of like random crazy drug questions, and
But yeah, I mean, he told me on that podcast he only runs like 500 megs a test.
yeah, which for him is like he's natty basically.
Yeah.
It's crazy because it took so long for him to get there because I remember I was like, bro, just try instead of like 3 grams, just try 2 grams. And he was like, I don't know. I'm like, bro, it can't hurt. Just try it out. And he would do it. He'd be like, yeah, I kind of feel the same. He's like, but I could afford it. Why not just do 3 grams?
I think you have to have the muscle mass to even respond to that much gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But I think the way he looked at it is that he wants to do everything possible. The only good thing is that he wasn't just doing that and bullshitting in the gym, bullshitting on the diet. He was legit doing everything 100%. Like he was stuffing his face. He was
If
like,
you do everything 100% and look that bad, that was really good. It's really good that he stopped.
he used to.
No, did you see his NPC shows?
Yeah, yeah. I was there actually. I'm pretty sure I went to every show he did. I actually went. Yeah, I went to the show in San Diego and Mr. California. There was a lot of stage experience things too that he needed. He gets like, I mean, we all get crazy around the shows, but he's already crazy, so he goes nuts, bro. He was
he said that he loses it on a diet.
Bro, he lost his shit. I remember it was me. Oh, you know Jason Coley as well.
Of course, I've trained Jason. You know that.
Oh yeah. So it was me, Jason, and Eric in the hotel room, and Jason, because at the time he wasn't using the coach, but me and Jason were kind of like helping him. And yeah, okay, let's see how you look. And he paused and whatever, and then Jason's like, what have you been eating? He just started stuffing his face with Pop-Tarts, muffins, all kinds of shit, and I couldn't stop him. I'm like, bro, stop it. He's like, nah, I'm flat. And I knew that I couldn't. I knew I couldn't stop him. And then with the internet, at the time there was a lot of
insulin too.
Huh?
Was he shooting insulin too?
I can't remember for that show. I mean, I told him not to, but I don't want to misquote it. I think he might have. But yeah, me and Jason were like, damn, this is not gonna be well. He actually he didn't look that. I thought he was gonna spill worse, to be honest with you. But he was actually in shape. That was the part that hurt my feelings. At that show, he was actually coming down in shape, and then he just went crazy. I think he also, being that he's a social media guy, like he had a big following and stuff. I think he gets into it too much with people, and people are like, "Oh, bro, you're gonna come in small. You're gonna come in the light heavyweight." And he's like,
"Please don't tell me his test was that high in prep, though."
No, it was. His test was high in prep. That high in prep, yeah.
Like more than 2 grams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he went up to like 5 grams, and then I think
the conversion. Imagine how much Letro you would need.
Oh yeah, a crazy amount. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to do that at all.
You would be so bloated,
bro. I would probably go up to like 300. Like I probably couldn't lose weight. Literally couldn't lose weight.
There's no way.
He was losing weight, somehow. But I remember, I think I was like, because he was, I think he was on like maybe like 2 grams of E and another 2 grams of Prop, something like that, right? And I'm like, I think he should cut out the Prop or something like that. And then he didn't until like I think his weight plateaued, and then I was like, yeah, I think it's just water weight. And then when he dropped it down a little bit, he lost that. But I think he was still above. I'm pretty sure he was above 2 grams still.
Are you running a gram test in your shows these days?
The last show I was at 1 gram, but I think I was like 1,200, and then I think he cut the test. It was earlier than I'm used to cutting it.
Completely?
Maybe I think I usually cut it maybe like that Monday or something. I think he cut it like 2 week, maybe close to maybe 10 days out.
Oh, okay, nothing crazy. Okay.
Now, granted, that would have worked because I was definitely holding shit in the water. If I would have followed the whole plan, it would have worked better.
Did you tell him after that you didn't?
Yeah, I did. I sent him like a long message. Long message. Listen, Justin is so smart. He knew that. I know Justin knew it already. Like he can tell what's going on.
Was he cool about it?
Yeah, he was cool about it. Because he mentioned something at one point, like, he was like, okay, so you're getting smaller, but you don't seem leaner. So something seemed a little off. Yeah, he knew that. Like,
was it pharmaceutical? Was it pharmaceutical T3 too?
At first, it wasn't. At first, it was the liquid, and then he was like, maybe you should try the Pharm. And I was like, yeah, good idea. And then I started. I changed it up, and
so you were on 100 of Pharma T3.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
In hindsight, I would have been better just not doing Pharm and just doing the fucking regular liquid from peptide sites or something. Yeah, but it was, listen, I go nuts. I gotta write a note to myself. You're nuts. Don't listen to yourself because I'm gonna ruin it every fucking time. It's just honestly.
Yeah, dude, you got the potential to go pro. You just listen to them.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. And what hurts me more, I know I'm coming in flat because I'll see these pros off season. I'm like, I'm just as big as this guy. But on stage, they're twice my size. And I'm like, something's not adding up. Like I'll be like,
Well, the
okay,
other thing too is I think you hold a ton of water in the off season, so you probably lose like 30 pounds the first few weeks of dieting.
I do, yeah. That's what we're working on now. Okay, he knows I'm gonna hold water, that's granted. But I think that's why he wants me to stay lean. So he's not like guessing like what the fuck is on his body. At least he can say, okay, I know he's lean, he just has water.
What do you weigh right now?
290 right now. I started my off season cycle. This Monday is going to be the second week. So
What's the heaviest you've ever been?
in decent condition or just heavy?
No, just ever.
Shit, like 315,
Oh, really? Were you bloated as hell?
bro. Water. When I say water buffalo, it was during quarantine. I was training like 3 times a week and eating ice cream all day long.
You probably had the cankles.
Oh, but worse than that, worse than that. Because I mean I already hold so much water, so if I wear socks, it looked like a fucking lollipop.
Dude, that's what I noticed with you in pictures is you hold water in your ankles.
Well, even like close to stage time, literally all the way until like stage. Even on stage, I want my ankles to be dry in there, but like I hold the cankles.
And you've gotten your blood work, your creatinine's perfect.
Okay, I forgot to tell you that. Yes, I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was fucking nervous. I'm like, I don't think I've told anybody this, but after I don't think anybody even know that I tried the FTTP first of all. So
Yeah.
I knew that I did,
But
and
the dose that I recommended you was very little.
yeah, it was so low. So after you said about the kidney failure, I was like, what the fuck? And then it was like clockwork. You said that you had blood in your semen, right? And I'm like, huh? Do I? I mean, because you don't know unless you look, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, huh? So I like beat off, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was like brown, right? What the fuck?
That's how that was me.
So in my head, I'm like, fuck, I got kidney failure. Then I feel fine. See, he felt fine. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I honestly procrastinated. I was like, I don't want to get the blood work. And Compton was like, listen, get the blood work, or we're not going to start it without the blood work, which is great because if he didn't say that, I wouldn't have got it. I would have been like, oh, fuck this shit. So I get the blood work. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go to my doctor. I don't want him to see my blood work. So I went, to like the labs MD and I got the blood work. I'm like, okay, shit. And my creatinine was in range. I was like, holy fuck. So
What was it at?
Let me check. But everything was in range besides my liver enzymes are never in range. Creatinine 1.27.
Wow, that's awesome.
Better than I fucking thought it would be, especially.
But how much were you running on the FTTP and for how long?
I kind of forgot that. Whatever you told me, honestly, I kind of forgot.
It was very little. I remember it was like literally like 1/30th of what I used.
But I don't know if I should say this, but it did work.
It worked for me big time. Yeah.
My glutes are like fucking old.
If I could do it all over again, I would have used the dose that I recommended to people.
Yeah.
But you know me, of course, I had to do a crazy experiment. I did a bottle a day. Well, how long? This is a good question. How long did a bottle last you?
Probably maybe a week, right?
Yeah, see, that's low. I was using a bottle a day.
Oh yeah, so that's a whole different beat. And on top of that, when I contacted you about it, I was already like 4 weeks out or 3 weeks out, so I didn't even have a lot of time to use it. Yeah, but it worked. My glutes are legit. Like my glutes look like an old lady. I could have shredded abs, striations in my chest, and fucking 90-year-old man glutes. It's the weirdest shit ever. But with this, my glutes started coming in. I did the Helios too. The Helios but the Helios makes your butt a little bumpy looking.
I don't like that. You asked me about that. I said I hate that shit.
Yeah, I asked Compton too. He was like, it'll give you some bump action. I was
It doesn't fully absorb.
No, I don't know. Yeah, but that was the FTP worked. Do you think? I mean, I wouldn't recommend it now,
I would never
but
recommend it. Yeah.
but technically, if the creatinine is fine, if you was to use my dose, it would probably you probably would be fine. It's just not.
I know 30 people that have used it with that low of dose that had no kidney issues.
Mm,
The dose that I told you, which was I think 1 cc in the vial,
yeah.
and I think 10 units a day, which would last you 10 days.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I
And
mean,
at that dose, it works without the negative, But like I said, dude, I did a bottle a day.
was your creatinine bad already?
Yeah, it went from 2.0 to 6.0.
Okay. Okay. So it wasn't,
So my kidneys were already stressed,
yeah,
not bad,
but
but it went from 2.0 to 6.
yes, and that's pretty bad. Then at that point, yeah. But I was surprised. My carbon dioxide was high. I don't know if that
Oh,
makes
really?
it that bad.
No, I mean, not really. Is it really high?
It's at 33. Oh, it's like 1 point higher.
Yeah,
Normally
exactly. Don't worry about it. What's your potassium at?
um 4.6.
Perfect. Yeah, you're good, man. Hey, you know what the crazy thing about your kidneys being at 1.27?
With
I don't
potassium.
know if you've done any research on it, but black people naturally have higher creatinine, right?
I had no clue.
That's why on your blood work, if you got the GRF, it'll say non-American and it'll say African American. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I never even checked. Never even checked.
Yeah, so it's different. So for you to have a creatinine that good, being African American is amazing because naturally you guys are higher already.
Yeah.
That's why if you ever get an EGRF test, which is your filtration test, it'll say non-African and African.
Mhm. Okay. I never knew that. I
Yeah.
didn't know though. One more question. So, okay, does your AST? How high does your AST and ALT usually run?
So if it's not over 100, it wouldn't. If it's not over 100, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, okay.
But mine is chilling usually around 40 to 60.
Mine has been high. Okay, so I kind of know the reason now, but my AST and ALT were elevated since I was about 15, 16. That was probably the first time I actually even knew what blood work was, right? So it's been high since then. About 2 years ago, it was extremely high, and this was off cycle. So it was well into the hundreds. And they were like, holy fuck, you might have hepatitis. And I'm like, what? Hepatitis? No, there's no way. They're like, do you do crack or anything? I'm like, no, I don't do crack. And I didn't have hepatitis. So they gave me a MRI on my stomach, and they found out I have a mass in my liver, and it's benign. So they checked it again, like,
Yeah, fatty tumors. Those are common.
okay. So once they seen that, they never worried about my ASC ALT being elevated. But they were like, oh yeah,
How high are we talking though?
it's the last one. It was 101.
On drugs or off drugs?
That was off for like 6 weeks.
Okay, so this is the true test.
Mhm.
If you get on drugs and it skyrockets, you'll know you have an issue. But if you get on drugs and it doesn't skyrocket, you'll know there's no issue.
Okay, that makes sense. But they made it seem like the mass is causing the elevated.
Correct. And that would be correct if you got on drugs and it doesn't fuck with it even more. But
Yeah.
you'll know it's kidney stress. I mean, my dad, you'll know it's liver stress if you take drugs.
That makes sense. Okay, because what you're saying is if it's the mass, then it's just gonna stay there because it's just the
Correct.
mass there. But if it goes up and down, then it's not the mass. It's
Correct.
Okay. That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Now,
So,
I'm
yeah,
saying if it goes up 10, 15 points, don't worry about it. But if it skyrockets to 200-300, you'll know there's an issue.
Compton told me he's seen 1,000 before.
Oh, dude, I had yeah, dude, I've read so much blood work. Yeah, that shit. If you're like really in serious failure, you're in the thousands.
Wouldn't you be like in the hospital or some shit?
Dude, I know a guy that was in 1,400 liver failure, and he ended up recovering.
Well, because the liver is resilient like that, right?
Yeah, you have to have liver disease for it to be yeah, or liver cancer. But if your shit is they tested it, huh?
Yeah, they did. So if it grows at all, they're gonna have to get like a what do you call it, the biopsy? Or I don't even
No,
know.
you probably got the biopsy to get it tested.
They did like a MRI.
Oh, really? Okay.
They did it
Wow.
first. They did it a year apart.
Okay.
And there was like they said, I don't know how they would know it's benign, but I'm assuming they can tell somehow.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So I'll probably go get it done again, make sure it doesn't grow, because growth hormone could possibly.
On your heaviest cycle, I would go get it checked.
Okay, that makes sense. But Boston, I don't want to hold you too long. I feel like
Yeah,
I've
for sure,
hold you
man.
long enough.
Well, yeah, let me know when you want to do it with Kanevsky, and I'll send you the link to the forum.
Perfect.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.